Let's take it over though.
Right, okay. In that case, hello everyone, good afternoon, good evening. I hope you're all well. This is the House of Death 3 from 2002, the PC version more specifically, but it doesn't really matter. PC is just the same as what you get in the arcade, and also the same as the Xbox version because it's got released. We're going to get into it. So the beat the game is the survival mode, and this is on the very easy difficulty. So if we're ready on time, I'll count you down from 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so altogether there is 5 chapters, I believe it is. And we're already going to jump straight into it. Now, for an immediate get-go, I'm going to say that there's a lot of mouse clicking. And we've also got cutscenes to skip as well. So that's also part of this run. But luckily, you just press the enter button and it all goes. So this, like I said, this game released in 2002. It's the 3rd game in the House of Dead series. And believe it or not, this game is actually set in an alternate 2019. It was kind of scary last year when I was playing it. With it being obviously 2019, I was just like, oh no, it's the same year as the game. What could be worse? You're playing the game in the same year it's actually based on. Well, thank God our 2019 wasn't like that. Although I think if it said 2020, I'd believe it. I mean, couldn't get any worse, right? Anyway, so for those that are unaware of what's currently going on, we're playing as somebody called Thomas Rogan, and Thomas Rogan is a character from the original House of the Dead. Now, for those that are a bit unfamiliar with the House of the Dead series, I can kind of sum it up as fast as I can, which is evil scientist makes a monster then escapes, and along with, well, he escapes, or this monster escapes, and a load of the zombies also escape from the lab. That's kind of all you need to know, and it affects across the entire world. So we have like 2 different routes that we're going to be going down, and that's actually the first thing I need to mention. So we have 2 different alternates, which are the entrance and the parking. And the entrance way, which is literally just, straightforward, things like that. That's the only bit we actually need to do. That's the fastest way, is what I have to say. Yeah, my my ums and ahs might be a bit more common. Hopefully they're not. But yeah, a lot of people are very familiar with this game, I'm sure. Like, they played it in the cinema and things like that. For me personally, I actually didn't play this game in the arcade. I always played it on the Wii because this game got released, I think it was in 2006? Might have been a bit later actually, 2008 I think it was. So, birds, yes. That's for crapping on my car, unfortunately. But anyway, so we're going to shoot that. There's various bonuses and things like that we're going to shoot whilst we're doing this. And obviously we're going to try and get all of them if we can. There's no real benefit other than they boost your score. There's also like extra life boxes and stuff that you can break. Also, meet our first boss, called Death. Literally, you could not make this up. So that's the first of, I think it's four times that we have to shoot him. So the way this game is, it's a rail shooter, meaning that you don't actually move, the game moves for you. And just to kind of put it in perspective, so like the world record for this, it's measured in-game time, this one. Most of them measured in RTA. As you can see, we just got an extra life, which is nice. But yeah, I think the record for this is something like 17 minutes or something, Daft, or 16 minutes. But that's measured by in-game time. So it's not how fast your RTA is, it's how fast your... Also, that was very close. It's how fast you are in-game. Now, the one thing to mention that is quite important is when you get to the end of this first level, there's 3 options that you can pick for chapter 2 to 4. So this is, I believe, the only time in this game where you can pick what chapters are which. Basically pick them in any order. So the order that we're picking them in, so that's the first level done. The order that we're going to pick them in is actually going to be the fastest route that we know of. So if I go, we're going to go to the EFI Genome Ward first, and then we're going to go to the West Wing. I forget what it's actually called. Something West Wing on the right hand side, and then the middle bit being like a lab plant section. So these chapters are all, like I said, the thing is, depending on the route that you pick, so say you pick the third one, first instead of last, then what you can actually do is you can take a completely different route. So you might start the level backwards, like you might be doing the same route backwards. Also, yeah, might as well get that. So, God. Also, Nemesis has made an appearance. Huzzah. So there's a lot of stuff going on in this, but to kind of sum it up, so at the first chapter, I haven't really even mentioned any of the story. I love how I just shoot my way through this and not mentioning the story. So the first part of this game involves Thomas Rogan. Like I said, he's from the first game. He gets stuck in this factory. Okay, now in said factory, he meets a mysterious person. We don't know who it is. Now, obviously I do, because I played it through, but for those who haven't, we meet a mysterious assailant, only briefly, and you don't see his face or anything like that. So Lisa, 2 weeks later, or 3 weeks later, goes out looking for her father, because, he's been missing for 2 or 3 weeks, and he was supposed to go for that pint of milk, and he never came back. Unfortunately. But, anyway. Yeah, so he disappears and no one has seen him. So we're going to shoot these guys off here. Hopefully we can shoot them off there. Nice. Get them. Good stuff. But yeah, like I said, for the most part it's all about Lisa going rescuing her dad. Now this character over here, the one that's currently in danger and one that needs to be saved. Now this is G, Agent G. Agent G is quite a... I was going to say very aggressive character. He's in my opinion, one of the main characters within the House of Dead franchise. So much so, he's been in quite a few of them. Including the spin-off sequence, which was the House of Dead Overkill. He also makes an appearance in House of Dead 4 as well. So for those that don't know, this game series is still going today actually. The first one came out, I believe, in 1998. I think it was like that, 1998 or something like that. And then the second one came out in... I'm trying to think actually. Something like, I think it was 1996 was the first one. Second one was 1999 or 1998. And then the third one being 2002. The next one after this was House of Dead 4, which came out in 2005. We then got House of Dead 2 and 3 Return, which was a Wii port, although I wouldn't really class that as one of the main series. Also, introducing the world's biggest friggin' sloth. You've seen how lazy a sloth is. This one can move. Now, this guy is a bit of a pain, I found, because you're supposed to shoot his foot here. Now, if he gets too close to you, or not, I actually managed to skip a cycle there, which was quite convenient. I've had this happen before. Very odd. So what's supposed to happen is he goes through a few phases where you have to shoot his foot or his paw, and ideally, what you want to make sure you do is shoot that bar down before it gets you. So this is the worst part right here. He is quite a tough bugger. Nice. Hopefully I can shoot his paw. Okay. He is actually a really tough boss, this one. Believe it or not. Also, if you do shoot him, you can still deal damage. And also his dead pets have fallen from the roof. Which is very lovely. How lovely. So you can still cause damage to him when you shoot him. So what I want to make sure I do here... Nice. Good stuff. Okay, second chapter done and dusted. Like I said, we choose a certain order that we do them in. And we're going to try and get the rank S. Now this is important. So if you get a rank A, you get 1 extra life. If you get an S, you get 2 extra lives. Also, speaking of which, let's move on to stage 3. So this is the Information Systems Department, the East Wing. Now you may remember the big bugger that we met in the first chapter. Yep, guess what? He's back, and he ain't happy, because you've already shot him a good few times, and he's still not happy. Now this one's an interesting one, because the boss music plays for the entire stage. So normally you have the music where you hear the boss, and then you also have the music where you have the actual stage. Well, this one plays for the entire stage from start to finish. There's actually a couple of levels like this in some of the other House of Dead games. In terms of difficulty, I definitely recommend trying this one out first, personally. And like I said, there is several ways to get hold of this, so you can get hold of the Xbox version, the PC version, and also, if you can, the Wii version. Now the Wii version is quite fun, in my opinion. Believe it or not, the Wii version was the first version I actually played. I also thought that the Wii version was a lot easier than PC and Xbox. So, yeah, that's also another reason to probably maybe look at getting the Wii version. And also, don't forget, bonuses do increase your score and stuff, so make sure you get as much as you can. But yeah, basically, like I said, the main story just involves Lisa. She's trying to find her father and things like that. Now, I'll try and explain bits of the story here and there, but that's kind of like the basic gist. She's, her father's gone missing, and she needs to find him, and G's involved with helping her. Also, nice. Kill 2 in 1 go there. Pretty good. So you can only get a maximum of 9 lives for your health, and anything you get on top of that, so say you max out the 9 lives, you can get an extra, I think it's like an extra 300 points for every extra life you get. So believe it or not, the hitbox on him is actually a bit tricky at times. So I don't think there's any real, at least not that I found anyway, there's no like real consistent. So these guys seem to really be hurting me. Hopefully I can get extra life back. So I missed him? I didn't usually miss him. Nice. So, you may remember that during the opening cutscene, during the opening stage, that we actually had a guy killed. So one of these guys with the knives and stuff like that, one of these guys got killed. Yeah, he's actually going to be making a return. I'm not going to tell you when, but he will be making a return. Now this game was quite a popular game, no surprise, back in the arcades, so when it used to be in the arcades. I think that's where a lot of people remember it from, as the earliest, earliest play experiences. And believe it or not, if it wasn't this one that used to scare me, it was definitely the 4th one. So the 4th one is on arcade and on PC as well. Sorry, PS3 should I say. And that one is a bit harder, I feel, even for a beginner. And not just harder, but it's also, like I said, more scary. But I think that's because of the HD visuals, sorry. So, these guys always try and scare you. I don't know why. They're always like, hey, let's try and scare him. Also, if you're not careful, then birds can hurt you badly. Nice. Get as much bonus as we can.
Looks like he's going all out.
Yeah, just out of curiosity. Anyone got any personal experiences? Iced maybe? Cat?
Let's hurry.
I mean, like I said, mine's just a case of playing it for the first time. It was like, man, this was scary. I don't know why. I mean, the thing is, I always find it, I mean, this probably should come as no surprise, but I've, obviously, other than playing this on PC and console as well, it is one of them games where I've always struggled to play it with an actual gun controller and found it easy to play with keyboard and mouse, etc. Also, that stage done, and the bad guy is dead. So you got the big bugger, Death, or as he was called. Yeah, he's dead, unfortunately. Also, since there's only one place left to go, we'll go into the level 3 biolab. So there is these cutscenes in between stages which you keep seeing. Well, in between chapters, should I say. But they actually mean something. So they're also part of the story as well. Now, I will only reveal why they are significant to the game, and most importantly, the story, when we get to it. Until that happens, though, I will try not to spoil it. Also, so these tentacle things attack us, and this is actually because of the enemy that we are going to fight. You may have noticed already that we've encountered some of the zombies with tentacles, which is very strange.
Jungle in here.
It's like a jungle in here. Also, poor Squidward, what did they ever do to him? He had a really hard time after he left SpongeBob, didn't he? Nice. Kill them guys. You can shoot these guys when they're down, if you want, to get rid of them a bit faster, but you don't have to. Now, I didn't actually know this, but there's a weird glitch that happens. It takes a while, but you can actually get... I didn't know this, but I found out that you can actually get a enemy to spawn on the boss fight. So what I mean by that is, if it keeps hitting you and keeps injuring you, it eventually sinks into the floor, and it's very weird. So basically, they've had like, somebody did a test where an enemy constantly keeps attacking you, and the enemy that attacks you will eventually go up into like go through the floor or through the ceiling or something. So then what ends up happening is you've got this zombie, and it's in the boss fight, and normally a zombie should not be in the boss fight, so it's like, hey, early 2000s. Also, introducing a boss within a stage. Now, normally you've seen a level end after the stage is done. Not this one. This one doesn't actually do that. So, it has a weak spot here, which is all these skulls here with the faces on it. You ideally want to make sure you shoot that. Ow. I'm supposed to shoot that before it hit me. So these are a bit of a pain. This boss actually is a pain. Luckily though, if you attack it fast enough and hard enough, it will eventually not like you. Nice. Good stuff. Also, don't think that the level's over just because, you know, just because we've done this. Also, his head keeps appearing and it always annoys me. Nice. Good stuff. It's dead. Or is it? Yes, it is.
Is time coming up yet?
Sure.
Is time up? Yeah.
Oh, no.
Chapter?
No. We've still got another chapter to go. So, got like another, I'd say about 5, maybe 8 minutes or something like that. Actually, just to ask, what time are we on roughly?
We are on 19 minutes and 39 seconds.
Ah, not too bad then. I think I've done
Still
worse.
30 minutes.
So once we've got this stage done and dusted, once we have this chapter finished, so I've never had that thing before. So yeah, once we've got this chapter done, that's pretty much it. There's only like one more chapter left to go. Also, I can't skip the results unfortunately, but that's fine. Also, since we got an S rank, we get 2 lives. Hell yeah. Now that leads us on to the final stage. Now, the final stage, chapter, I keep calling them stages. Final chapter, should I say, is called Wheel of Fate. Now, things might start to look a bit more familiar. So, we've finally made it to where, supposedly, Lisa's dad is being held. And with it comes a slight plot twist for the game. Also, bye! Down he goes. So a lot of the game, should I say, now will start to look very familiar, because this is the start of the game, just revisited. So there's a lot more zombies on the screen and things like that. So I always need to make sure these guys are always a pain. I don't know why, but also if I can get these guys here, good. Okay, right. So the guy that you see running alongside Lisa being the one on the right, that is somebody called Daniel Curien. So it turns out the mad scientist who I was on about, who caused all of this rubbish from the first game, was a man called Dr. Curien, and Daniel Curien was his son. Now, to explain the cutscenes, you remember how I've been skipping these cutscenes? Well, it turns out it was part of the story. But you guys wouldn't have known that, because guess what? I just decided not to tell you, did I? But yeah. So, basically, to put it bluntly, he is Dr. Curien's son. Dr. Curien's son, Daniel, was very ill. He wasn't too great, and the whole reason for this virus in the first place was basically his son was sick. He needed to create a vaccine, and it was able for him to survive, you know, sort of thing. If that makes sense. The funny thing is, when you think about it, this has a similar plot to the second Resident Evil film, which I find quite funny. Also, that's quite funny there, because we have a... If you do all of the partner rescues and you get them all, you get that little end bit, where you can gain like health and all the rest of it. Also, just to put things a bit more clear, so this is the Wheel of Fate, aka Dr. Curien Resurrected. Now he's tougher, he's a lot more difficult. And we're just going to shoot the hell out of him. It says, Analysis is impossible. Turns out the weak spot was the big star-looking thing on his chest. So basically, this is the Silver Surfer from the Fantastic Four. And all we need to do...
the Terminator 2.
Oh, that? Actually, yeah, that would definitely work a lot better. So I have to try and shoot him as he's moving. Ow. So I just need to make sure that I can get... Let's see if I can get him. Nice. Okay, we got him. Just need to make sure he just doesn't be a pain. There we go. Gotcha. Okay, so he has basically one of several different tricks up his sleeve. So this involves firing like these ball things at you to a shield thing, like that. And he's going to do this more than once. Hopefully he doesn't do it again. Nice. I've never really clicked that fast before, so that's nice to know. Nice to see him go down like that. So basically, once he gets to a certain amount of health, he's actually going to start to glow orange. This is when he gets into his final phase and we can kill him. So, time's going to be in about, maybe... Just trying to think, maybe about 2 minutes. Just as a
No problem.
rough estimate. So, I can only presume these are like snowball things he's throwing at us. Nice. So now that we've shot him, and just going to keep shooting him now, eventually he's going to turn around. And we're eventually now... Yes, he is. Yeah! Nice. So, he's now going into his final phase. So he's going to do this, where he sends off all of these electric charges at us. And they can easily kill you because they're very blinding. Okay, I think I should be able to kill him, so maybe about 10 seconds from now, something like that. Time! Nice.
Absolutely spooked myself when you yelled that out. Just hit time. Quickly hit the button! I didn't hear 3, 2, 1, so...
Yeah, sorry.
Scared me.
Right.
25:56.
Nice.
That's what estimate.
Not bad. Not bad at all. I'm quite happy with that. 30 minutes is usually a bit of a over-dramatised estimate, but it's just to be on the safe side and in case I mess things up or something bad happens, that's all. But basically, Daniel Curran yells, "You're not my father!" Or as the famous meme goes, "You're not my dad!" And shoots him and he blows up just like he does just like most enemies do. Apparently they have high blood pressure or something, so that's why they all explode.
You don't want them to be your father?
I know.
That would be so cool.
I know,
Imagine
it's a
getting
big
bullied.
Silver Surfer.
Not anymore.
So funnily enough, the way that this game is done, so like I said, it's all done via in-game time, so RTA doesn't much matter. But it's always nice timing RTA just in case. But in terms of where this leaves the actual story, this was the last game in existence before they released House of Dead Overkill and House of Dead Scarlet Dawn, which is the new one that came out, I think it was last year or the year before, in Japan and eventually got released in Europe. It's only an arcade game, so I'm hoping one day we can get hold of that on PC, but yeah, it's a pretty cool game. It's very scary, the new one. Very modern. But yeah, so there is 4 endings, and this is the funniest ending. So depending on your skill and what ranks you get in the stages will depend on one of 4 endings. If you get like straight S's, you get the special ending. If you get a lot of A's and S's, then you get this ending, where Zombie Joe nicks your car, and Lisa lets out this cracking line.
Slimy bastards! Say your prayers.
So, yeah, that famous line, "Hey, that's my car, you slimy bastards." But, yeah, that's the end of the game. There is an in-game time which is being shown now, which we can actually see. And we can also see what our score was and the clear time. And the clear time is what you submit when you are looking for a run, or when you're doing a run, should I say. And also, we get this lovely name entry screen, and also save it as well. But yeah, that is House of Dead 3. It's a very short game. I'd highly recommend getting into the House of Dead series. If you're into shoot-em-ups, I believe House of Dead 1, 2, 3, I think Overkill, and with a bit of arcade emulation, the 4th one as well. You can basically play them all on PC. This game, like I said, it's available as part of the House of Dead 2 and 3 Return that came out on Wii, and I think it was 2007 or 2008, around about there. It's also released on the original Xbox, but it's backwards compatible through an Xbox 360. So if you still have that, then you can always pick it up for that if you want to play it through that. PC, of course, is the easiest and best way, in my opinion, of playing it. Or, if you want to, play it at your local arcade shop if you've got an arcade that has this. I mean, obviously you can't because of COVID at the moment. Or an arcade emulator, if you've got one, because it is available on there. But apart from that, I'm going to wrap this up here. Thanks again to Powerhouse Marathons for having me and for allowing me to be the host for the last 3 hours. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Enjoy the rest of the marathon. And on that note, yeah, enjoy the rest of it. And ta-ra. See you later.
December 18th.
That was the BPG with the House of the Dead 2. Next will be Silent Hill UFO ending.